Today, we're going to dive into the potential health effects of EMFs, just to show you how important it is to take measures to protect yourself and your family. And we'll cover all of these measures later on in the module. First, let's dive into the science. There's a huge growing body of evidence suggesting that EMFs harm our bodies. There's the groundbreaking $30 million National Toxicology Program study from 2018, which found clear evidence of rare heart and brain tumors, DNA damage, and adrenal gland tumors in rats exposed to cell phone radiation. And shockingly, there was another study done around the same time, which found the same rare heart and brain tumors in the animals that were exposed to cell tower radiation. But it doesn't stop there. There's the Bioinitiative report, a collaboration of 29 leading scientists who analyzed over 3,000 studies on the health effects of EMFs. And they concluded that even low-level exposure can be detrimental to our health. And they proposed much stricter limits than our current government standards. So what health issues are we talking about? Well, brace yourself, because the list is slightly alarming. For men, EMF exposure has been linked to decreased sperm quality and count, damaged sperm DNA, and even erectile dysfunction. Not great. And ladies, if you're pregnant, take note. Exposure during pregnancy has been linked to a whole host of issues like impaired memory and learning difficulties, congenital heart defects, increased risk of miscarriage, ADHD, obesity, and asthma in children. But the effects go beyond reproductive health. On a cellular level, EMFs are damaging our cells. And one of the ways this happens is by letting excess calcium in. This leads to DNA damage, free radical production, tumor growth, and even mental health issues. They can also disrupt our sleep patterns, increase the permeability of our blood-brain barrier, allowing stuff in there that shouldn't be, and throw off the delicate balance of our gut bacteria, which impairs our immune system. Despite growing evidence of potential health risks, society largely views EMFs as safe due to assurances from governments and the telecom industry themselves. They argue that the EMF levels emitted by these devices are well below the established safety thresholds, and that there's no mechanism by which low-level EMFs could cause adverse effects. Now, unfortunately, this position is severely misguided for several reasons. First, some studies cited by the industry have been criticized for methodological flaws, conflicts of interest, and failing to consider the long-term effects. And secondly, the safety thresholds set by regulatory agencies are based on really outdated research and old technology, and they don't account for the cumulative effects of continuous low-level exposure from all of the multiple sources that we have around us. And finally, as mentioned, there is a huge growing body of independent research that indicates that even low levels of EMF exposure can have serious biological effects. It's important to note that the companies in this space have a vested interest in downplaying potential risks, as acknowledging them would lead to stricter regulations and reduce profits, unfortunately. So this situation has resulted in public assurances of safety despite some huge contradictory evidence. Now, there has been some gradual increased governmental awareness around this issue, and there's been some changes, but while we wait for regulatory agencies to catch up with the mounting scientific evidence out there, it's important to implement more stringent safety standards that we know are important. So becoming proactive in our health, as always, is going to be the best way to go. So we need to examine our daily habits and make changes to create a healthier environment for ourselves and for our future generations. But don't worry, you're not in this alone. In this module, we'll share easy, actionable tips to help you minimize EMF exposure without having to go completely off-grid. In the next lesson, we'll look at the RID framework for reducing EMF exposure.